Hey y'all, and welcome to Monner's Market, and welcome to the Patriotic DIY Challenge. This challenge today is very near and dear to my heart. The two ladies that are hosting and co-hosting are going to be donating all of their proceeds to a place called the Fisher House. Now, the Fisher House is kind of like a Ronald McDonald House for veterans. It's where they go and they put their families up for veterans who are having surgeries or maybe are just sick, going through chemo treatments or something. And they just bring the families in, make them feel at home, give them a place to stay that's comfortable. And it's just a phenomenal organization. So I am extremely proud to be a part of this challenge today, and I want to thank the beautiful Teresa over at Teresa B DIYs. Let me clarify that. And my girl Sammy over at Unicorn Dust Designs. Y'all know, if you've ever seen any of my videos, how extremely special Sammy is to me. She is the one who encouraged me to start my channel several months ago, and she has backed me and supported me nonstop, 100% the whole way. So I am so excited to be a part of this video today. And now I'm going to hush my mouth and jump right on into DIY number one. So for DIY number one, I made a patriotic wreath. Everything on this wreath came from the Dollar Tree, so it should be fairly easy for you right now to be able to find everything that I used to be able to recreate this, if indeed you like it. So the first thing I did is took this wreath here and some flowers that I got from the Dollar Tree and this scarf that I got from the Dollar Tree. I absolutely love this scarf. I was going to use that blue truck right there. It's a welcome sign, but I ended up not using it. I also did not use that grapevine as part of this DIY either. So the first thing I wanted to do is take this scarf and sort of wrap it halfway around the wreath, still showing some of that. Is that a rattan wreath? I'm not sure what it's made out of, but I wanted some of that to show. So I just took my scarf and I tied it on there, almost like you would tie it around your neck or your hair, and made a cute little bow. And then I just started taking these red, white, and blue flowers, and I cut them apart and just started sort of placing them on the wreath where I thought they would look good. So I am going to hush a minute and let you see how it all comes together. But before I hush, I need to tell you that there will be a playlist linked below where several other creators are going to be joining me today in making patriotic DIYs. So be sure to go down to my description, follow that playlist, and show everybody some love, especially Teresa and Sammy. What it turned out like. So make sure you leave me a comment down below and let me know what you think about this wreath and how it turned out. I think it's kind of cute. Those flowers, once I got them on there, looked a little more purplish than blue, but they really are blue. But between the lighting and that dark blue on those flowers right there, it almost makes them look purple. But make sure you leave me a comment down below and let me know what you think about how this wreath turned out. Now let's jump into DIY number two. This is just a simple little beaded garland. One of my all-time favorite things to make. If you watch my channel often, you know that I like to do them all the time in different colors, and could not pass up a chance to do a patriotic themed beaded garland. So I took 5 of these 20 millimeter beads. I cannot talk today. And painted them red, 5 and painted them white, and 5 and painted them the ocean blue color. All of these are Waverly chalk paints that I'm using here. So once I got them done and they dried, I ended up making this little tail. It's not called a tail. What is it called? A tassel. Ended up making a tassel for it out of this red and blue yarn that you can get from the Dollar Tree. I almost went outside and got my white and added it to it, but my little star that's going to be on the other end was going to be white. So I didn't want to have too much white in there, so I left it at that. So I just wrapped it around my hand. I didn't even count how many times I wrapped it. And then I took a couple of pieces and put it straight through the middle, tied a knot, and then you want to cut straight down the middle at the bottom so that you have your fringes for your tassel. And then you want to lay it down, pull it together, take another piece of string, and make your little head at the top of your tassel. And you do that simply by wrapping it around and tying a second knot in place right there. Once your tassels hang, you're going to have to take your scissors and give it a little haircut and get it kind of evened up. And that's all there was to it. They are the simplest things in the world to make. Now, I just happen to have this blue and white twine sitting in my little basket, so that's why I used that. And you'll see me arrange it one way, and I wasn't happy with that, so I took it all apart and just did the regular red, white, blue, red, white, blue. So that's me just kind of going, nope. Wasn't feeling it. Let me go and do it the way I was originally going to do it. And I've got to tell you, I was tickled to death to find the star that I'm using for the other end of this beaded garland. Let me tell you what I did. I was at the Dollar Tree looking in their there we go again, patriotic stuff. And I found these little wind chimes. Now, I found the wind chimes. I used them in a project last week with a beaded garland, and it was something different, but this is a patriotic one, so it has a little star that already has the hole in it, like it was made for this beaded garland, I'm telling you. So I reached in, stole it out of there. Now I'll keep that little wind chime set and make it later, and then use something else that I have on hand for the bottom. But how precious is that little star, and how perfect was it for this beaded garland? I mean, it could not have been more perfect for this theme today. So I was tickled to death that I had that. So I took it and tied it on the end of it, and that was the end of that. That's how quick and easy these things are to make, and look how adorable that is. Is that not just the cutest? It will look so sweet on a tier tray, and I actually am making a tier tray in today's video, and I will show you what this looks like sitting on top of the tier tray a little bit further down the road. But let's jump into DIY number 3, which is the tier tray that I was telling you about. Now, I'm not really into the gnomes, but I pulled up patriotic images, or circular patriotic images. All right, let's do that one more time. Free patriotic circular images. And I found this cute little gnome set, and I fell in love with it. It was perfect for what I wanted to do. So now I'm just using a little candlestick from the Dollar Tree and a plate from the Dollar Tree that actually comes, I want to say 4 or 5, maybe even 8 to a set for $1. So I've literally got $1.25 in this. And I forgot to film the part where I took that ocean by Waverly and dry brushed it onto the edges in the candlestick. I had gotten a phone call, and when I hung up, I forgot to turn my camera back on. Now, this is a water slide. If you have been on my channel, then you know what this is already. And you know how to use them. If not, a water slide is something that I use for decorating cups and other things, and they are perfect for decorating tier trays and other things because you simply print them on a printer, and they are super duper vibrant. Love, love, love the colors that it comes in, and you activate it by dropping it down into the water. Once you do, it activates that glue on the back of it, and then you just slide it into place, and voila, your picture is done. So I took some red, white, and blue ribbon that I had from Walmart, and I just made me a cute little bow for the bottom of that, just to add a little touch of color down there, nothing fancy. And that was it. I mean, how quick and easy was that little tier tray? And I don't even have $1.25 in the whole stinking thing. And I love the way it turned out. I thought it was just as cute as it can be, and it was adorable with that little beaded garland that I just made on top. So let me show you what it looks like on top of it after I get through showing you how cute this turned out. I love it, and for $1.25, you just cannot beat it. Maybe $1.50 if you want to count the ink that I used for my water slide. But, I mean, seriously, how cheap is that? Took me 5 minutes to make, and I think it's just as cute as it can be and very patriotic. Now, let me show you what it looks like with the little beaded garland. Y'all, my tongue is just as tied up today as it can be. Isn't that cute? So now this is DIY number, where we at? 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, DIY number 4. I lost track. This is a sign that I made specifically for my grandson Daniel. My grandson Daniel just turned 18, and he already has a year in the Army National Guard. This is a sign that I got from the Dollar Tree. It's one of those reversible signs, and it's pretty flimsy, but it's going to be hanging on a wall, so it's not a big deal. Now, I just took some white Waverly chalk paint and went around the edge because I was going to be putting that picture on top, and then I decided later to go ahead and cover the whole thing, but I didn't show y'all that. So I took some Mod Podge, and I Mod Podged the picture down that I simply just printed out on the printer. Again, when I Googled patriotic images, this is one of them that come up, and it is just so Daniel. Now, the flowers are Danny, and they're not real Daniel-ish, but I just wanted to add something extra to this little picture because it was so plain. So I added these little flowers, and I added a piece of twine to hang it with, and that was it. Again, you cannot get any easier than that, and that's me add the little twine to the back, and that's how that turned out. Again, I might have $1.50 in the whole thing, and I love the way it turned out. I kind of wish I hadn't have added those flowers now, and I very well may go back and take those off because I'm going to be putting this in his room, and I don't think he'd appreciate flowers, even if they are red, white, and blue. So a special thank you to Daniel for your service, buddy. I love you, and I'm proud of you. We adopted him when he was a baby, and I just could not be more proud of him. Now let's jump into DIY number 5. This is another super quick and easy one. Probably can't even be considered a DIY because all I did was took one of those little arrows from the crafter square at the Dollar Tree, and I painted it white. And I had big plans for this arrow, and the day got away from me, and I wasn't able to fulfill it. And I had already taken that little truck off of the welcome sign and was going to use it on my wreath, and I just changed my mind. So I had that little truck, and I thought, you know what, that'd look cute right there on that little arrow, and I can hang it beside that picture that I just showed you and put it in Daniel's room. So that's what I'll do. And once I get all of that done, I will show you a picture probably next week in next week's video of what it looked like once I got it all hung up together. And I'm pretty sure I'll go on and take those flowers off and do something different on there. But for now, we're going to leave the flowers on there so that I can finish this video for you. But that was it. Look how cute that is. It's kind of 3D sticking out the top. I did kind of play with some flowers. You know, do I want to put flowers on there? And again, it's going in Daniel's room, and I just didn't think he would appreciate those flowers, so I left them off. And that's how that turned out. And I love that truck. I love the blue. I love the red trucks, especially at Christmas time. But that blue right there, it's almost like a denim blue. Oh my gosh, I just thought that was just the most adorable thing ever. So let's see what I did for DIY number 6. Y'all, I don't even know. I done lost count. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I think. I don't know. I'm sure I told you in the picture right there. So this is just a little paper plate holder. I got it at the Goodwill for 99 cents and brought it home, cleaned it up, and the edges were a little bit rough down there, so I sanded them down. And then all I did was went in and gave it a quick coat of Waverly white chalk paint. My absolute favorite to use is the Waverly chalk paint in any color. It's so easy to work with. And I did end up giving this 2 coats. So I gave it 2 good coats of the paint, and then I printed out that same little gnome picture that I did for my tier tray. Now, I didn't show you this on the first one, but I'm going to show you this now. When you're using a water slide, if you're printing them on inkjet paper, you have to seal it with something. So I'm sealing it with the 2X spray paint in clear. And I did that same thing for the one that I put on my tier tray. I was just going so fast, I didn't mention that earlier. And again, that's the same little picture, just to kind of, you know, have a little extra piece to go along with that tier tray. And I'm sure come 4th of July, I'll pull it back out and use it again. But isn't that cute? So I just printed that out and got it sealed up with that clear spray paint. And you'll see me now, when you stick that water slide down in the water, it's going to curl. Watch. Bam. Does it every time. But that's okay, because all you have to do is just take your fingers and hold it down flat, and it'll straighten right back out. It's not a big deal. You can actually even leave it curled as long as it's got enough water to cover the whole thing, because you want to make sure that all of that glue is activated on the back. And then once you get it activated, it'll slide right off. And I was not being careful. Generally, you just want to slide it right into place, but I was trying to be in a hurry and ended up having to try to straighten it back out. Now, you got to be real careful with them. They are forgiving as long as they're still wet, but that one was so little that it started to dry up on me real quick. And once it dries, that glue dries, it's like super glue almost. You're not going to get it off of whatever you've put it on. So you got to work quick, and you got to make sure that you get all of your water and air out from under it and get it smooth. But I love working with it. It's just awesome. And then I made me a little finger bow, and Sammy over at Unicorn Dust Designs, the co-host today, is who I learned this from. Some people call it a messy bow. She called it a finger bow, and I learned from her, so that's what I'm going to call. Actually, I call it a Sammy bow. I don't call it a finger bow or a messy bow. I call it a Sammy bow. So I made me a little Sammy bow for the bottom of my little paper plate holder and hot glued that down. And then I had a stencil that I got at the Dollar Tree, and it had a bunch of different star patterns on it. And there was one that you'll see me use here in just a second that I thought would be perfect for that little blank space to the left and the right of my little gnome picture. See that right there? I thought it was perfect for that. So what I did is I took my crimson Waverly chalk paint, which is the red, and used it and just stenciled it down. Took my stencil brush. Now, when you're stenciling, if you're new at this, you don't want to wipe or drag your paintbrush. You want to dab. You just want to dab up and down, or else you're going to get bleeds. So I rinsed it off because I needed to flip it over and reverse that image. So I took it over to the sink and I rinsed off all of that red paint, which came off super easy, very quick, not messy at all. And then I just went ahead and stenciled the other side, and look at yonder. How cute is that? And that is it. That is all it took. That one wasn't even $1, and I don't even think I have $10 in the whole video today. I might, pushing it, have $15, but leave me a comment and let me know what you think about these patriotic DIYs, and make sure you go show Sammy and Teresa some love, because when you watch their videos, they're way on up there, and they will have these little commercials in their videos. Now, they get paid every time you watch those commercials, and every penny that they're making from this playlist today, like I said, they're going to be donating to the Fisher House. So go watch their videos, show them some love, leave us all some comments, definitely give us all a thumbs up. That really helps to support our channel, and it shows YouTube that people are actually watching what we're putting out there. Every time you comment, every time you like, every time you subscribe, those things help our channel. So speaking of subscribe, if you are new to my channel and you're here from the playlist today, welcome. My name is Brenda. My channel is Monner's Market, and my grandkids call me Monner, and that's where my name came from. So I would love it if you'd consider subscribing to my channel today and becoming a part of my little family. Now, here is everything together that I did for you today. I hope you enjoyed my video. I hope you enjoyed my little patriotic DIYs. Leave me a comment down below and let me know which one of these 6 were your favorite. Give me a big thumbs up, and thank you so much, Teresa and Sammy, for allowing me to be a part of this challenge. I had a blast as usual, and I get tickled every time I work with you ladies. So thank you again for letting me be a part of this today. Now make sure you go down to the playlist that's going to be in my description box below, and go watch what everybody else has done for you today. So thank you for coming. God bless you. Come back. Bye now.